Good morning, everyone. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options. It is May 12th. May 12th, Friday. As you know, I normally look at Fridays as profit days, the days I want to be taking money to the bank. And we've got several substantial profits that we could be taking to the bank today. However, we also have something that could affect that profit in either direction very quickly today. Looking at the market first, let's take a look at the chart. You can see we had a really strong move down yesterday, but a very positive reaction by the bulls, pushing us back higher. But this morning we're gapping lower again. We've had a lot of back and forth, okay, but it's been contained in a very small space. My concern is that we are going to be hypersensitive to the numbers today. Today, if we look on the economic calendar, we have CPI and we have retail sales. Both happen prior to market open. The market will have an opportunity to react before we can do anything. Really positive number could easily propel us to new highs. Okay? A poor number, and here's my concern. Retail sales numbers, when you look at the retailers, have not been strong. They've not been good. So if we get a bad number, we could easily slip south very quickly. Okay, so you need to be prepared for either event. And remember, we've got not just that, but we've also got consumer sentiment today and business inventories. These two by far are going to be the most important today. And then we have Fed speakers today as well. But please keep in mind that we need to be ready this morning for what could be a substantial move if we break through the resistance to the upside or break to the support through the support on the downside. The longer we have been wound up here, pressure has been building on this, building for a move. Now we don't know, that's the problem with one of these, we don't know which way it's going to move. And in the overall market, obviously, if we break higher, the positions that we're holding will likely improve in profits, and we'll want to hold those maybe through the end of the day, maybe all the way through the weekend, depending on how it reacts up here. If it breaks through this floor, we're probably going to want to be taking profits quickly. Okay? So don't wait for me to give you any kind of notice to take a profit. Be prepared if we start to fall, if we start to fail, and it looks like we're going to break below this or stay below this for the day. I'm going to want to be closing out a lot of these positions, taking profits ahead of the weekend. Because if we were to put in a bearish candle here today, close this below here today, we can probably expect follow through to the downside next week. Okay? And that will affect these positions. So be cautious and be careful. Just watch out what kind of reaction are we going to get to that news event this morning. It really could be the tiebreaker today, okay? So let's look at the SPY, SPY. SPY, beautiful rebound yesterday. Bulls really did their job pushing that back. But notice again, we're gapping down from that close yesterday, and we're kind of wrapped up in this tentative area right at price resistance. A good number could break us out. A bad number could break us down, okay? So be prepared for both events. IWM, looked like IWM was really going to sink south yesterday. But we had those bulls just really charge back in, pushing it back higher and giving us an opportunity to have that break either up or down here. A break above this resistance level and a hold up here on a Friday would be really good sign, I think, for us in the market. So a breakdown below here clearly would be just the opposite. If we look at the Qs held up really well. Holding that support, we went down. Notice we tested it almost to the penny and then bounced off of there strongly. We need to see the Qs continue that push. The Qs have been the leader. We need them to lead today for sure. If those retail numbers are good, lead us out of here. Break us out of these resistance levels. That's what we want to see happen. Okay. I already showed you the economic calendar. On the earnings calendar, we only have 60 companies reporting today. We're winding down our earnings for this quarter. There's no one of really major significance. There are a couple of retailers on there that can also add some pressure. If we get a bad number, it could add some downside pressure with some bad retail numbers out of some of these companies. But other than that, we're starting to slow down. Now, next week on the economic calendar, we do have a fairly significant day on Monday, a pretty big earnings day. But after that, we really begin to drop off in earnings, and it's going to become less of a factor for the market as we go forward. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Be cautious. But anytime you're around an earnings event, you want to be cautious about that stock. So make sure you're checking. Even though we're winding down, we don't want to give up or stop our practice of every time we look for a new trade, we want to check that earnings report just to make sure that we're not jumping into something just before it reports. Obviously, it's just as important that we watch those earnings reports for stocks that we hold. Clearly, stocks have been getting punished very hard, and it only takes one really bad one. It only takes holding something like a one snap to really mess up your month, possibly even your year, depending on how big a position you would hold in something like that. So be really, really vigilant around those earnings events. Okay. All right, everyone. Hey, I'm going to get this rendered and off to you. Everyone have a great day. Right Way Options will be normal time today. It looks like our rooms are back up and running. So we'll have our normal session today in room 2. Everyone have a great day, and I will talk to you all soon.